EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for January 17th, 2024. It is Wednesday. The Wednesday video forecast is proudly sponsored by the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania. The KP Agency is a full-service senior insurance brokerage located in downtown Easton, Pennsylvania. And although the Medicare open enrollment period ended in December, it's good to know that it doesn't mean your opportunity to change or add to your coverage has definitively expired. And for those who are turning 65 and new to Medicare, you have your initial election period that begins 3 months before your birthday. Don't fall prey to bait and switch solicitations or commercials, and instead rely on a local trusted resource to guide you through the process with ease. Call or text Kristen at 908-329-7140 or visit them online at thekpa.net to get what's truly best for you. They are the KP Agency in Easton, Pennsylvania, proud sponsors of the Wednesday video forecast. So no issues today whatsoever. We have mostly sunny skies. It's going to be a very cold start. Not really recovering that much today despite the best efforts of full sunshine. 20 to 27 is the spread as you see above me. It's going to be cold. We're going to have another one of these such days on Saturday where it's going to be pretty cold, maybe even colder than this by a couple degrees, but it's going to be pretty cold today. Coldest we've seen so far this entire winter. And then on Thursday, we moderate a little bit, actually considerably, but it's still most of the interior anyway is going to be below freezing. But the far southeastern areas like Atlantic City down to Dover, you get up into the mid to upper 30s for highs. But so 28 to 38 is a spread here on Thursday. We're going to have increasing clouds ahead of our next system. So this is what I want to spend time on. We just had one that we had got through yesterday. Actually, there was a very long duration event, but was kind of like pixie dust coming down. It wasn't really intense at all in the areas that stayed snow. Kind of hit the lower end of those ranges that we had, but we still verified across the region was just on the lower end of that scale. And some of the short range models were a little bit excited about that, a little bit too excited about the higher end stuff that didn't really work out. But hey, we say 3 to 5 and you get 3, that still verifies, right? Doesn't matter. So here is today. We have mostly sunny skies again today, cold. And then we get to Thursday, we're going to have clouds increase and start off mostly cloudy and then become overcast during the day. This is the European model I'm going to use here. I'll start off with this, and I want to concentrate on the short range stuff because there's a interesting feature here with the end of the week. Now, we have this system coming in on late Thursday night or Friday, and it's going to last most of the day again. This is not looking like it's a huge event. However, there is a wrinkle to this, and it's in the form of an inverted trough, which we're going to discuss what that is and what the implications of that is. So here's Thursday again. Increasing clouds becoming overcast. You might have a few snow showers overnight in advance of this system. Another weak system. This is nothing really exciting, at least initially. And then you get out to Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and you get an inverted trough that starts getting going here. And you can see that by the isobars. See the isobars here? These are lines of equal pressure. See how they're pointing in like this? This is the lines of equal pressure pointing in this direction like that. So that is an inverted trough that it's starting to show. And the European model is the farthest south with it. It has it right over here. And I'll explain this now using the short range models that are a little bit different. Okay, both the NAM that ran this evening and the RGEM are both being used here for reference in the video. So this is the latest thing we have. Now the NAM does not have anything on Thursday night, but again, you could have some snow showers starting later Thursday night already. And then it brings it in here on Friday. Again, just snow showers at first, and then see how low pressure usually is somewhat circular like this, okay? And it overspreads snow across the area, but this is already getting an inverted trough going here, and you can see this very clearly in this image, okay? This is the isobars, again, pointed inward. Oops, I messed that up a little bit. The isobars are pointed inward like this, okay? So your inverted trough in this case is actually situated over here, okay? There's your inverted trough in association with this low pressure. There's also an upper level low that is an association with this, and you can see it better if I change this over to a instead of doing this as a precipitation type. I'm going to just do this as regular precipitation. You can see where it is. Okay, so there is, see where the heaviest corridor of precipitation here along that inverted trough. It's kind of right in there. So what an inverted trough is an area of rapidly rising motion. So when you have rapidly rising motion in the column underneath that trough, you get heavier precipitation because of that rapidly rising motion. On the outside of that inverted trough, which is situated here, right on the NAM. This is where the NAM has it, right like that. So if you go to outside of this boundary here, it's kind of like a 50 to 75 mile corridor on either, not on either side, but this entire width from here to here is 75 miles or so, 50 to 75 miles wide. So it's kind of a narrow corridor. And on the opposite side of that, on the northern side of that, you get sinking air on either side. You get sinking air because what comes up must come down. So it kind of goes up like this, up and over and down on the outside. So when you have the sinking air is the result of the outside, you get lighter precipitation rates. And there's a big difference between what's happening in here versus what's happening here and here. Okay, so I put the Y's where the sinking air is. Okay, so that's just a basic overview. It's not, I don't want to get too technical and lose everybody, but you're going to hear that word inverted trough with this system. I will tell you, as a forecaster, being brutally honest with you, there is next to zero chance that the snow map that we're going to create, that we're going to do as a first call today, and then we'll update that again on Thursday, is going to be spot on. There's very little chance it does that. And any forecaster that is going to tell you that they know what's going to happen in a specific area is feeding you a line of BS, because this is one of the most difficult things to do, and it's usually like a within 12 hours type deal. They'll see where it's setting up, and then that area gets hit the hardest. So under this band, wherever that is, where this is in fact where it is, that area will get the heaviest snow. Doesn't mean it's going to be there, though. We'll see. And I'll show you in a different view here from the upper level analysis. The low pressure itself, surface low pressure, is all the way out here. There is a little bit of an upper level feature right here. This is the upper level low associated with this big deep trough. There's the trough right there, okay? Okay, so there's the big trough. So in between these two, you get an inverted trough. And wherever these are in relation to each other will determine where exactly it is. And that can make the difference between somebody getting 4, 5, 6 inches, and then just outside of that in the subsidence area getting an inch or two. Okay, it's really that much of a difference, because the rapidly rising motion underneath that inverted trough is greatest where it exists, and trying to pinpoint exactly where it's going to be is almost possible. We can guess and we can get close. All right, here's the RGEM this evening. Does something very similar. Again, it's a little further north than the European model. Remember, the European model is down here, right? The NAM, if I change this back to precipitation type on this image here, it's further north also. It's actually right in here on the NAM of where the heaviest snow is. RGM is doing something pretty similar, same general area, but again, you have that inverted trough that we're talking about as you go forward. See the isobars kinking inward. So the RGM is focusing on these areas right in here, okay? And it's been doing that. So it's getting the general idea close, and that's all we can really hope for this. But this is what it does in terms of snowfall, and you can see what I'm talking about here. See the heavier amounts here, 4, 5 plus inches right in there. You get it right outside there up here, and you're talking about barely 2 inches. Down here, barely 2 inches. That's your subsidence zone outside of that inverted trough. And that's what the NAM's trying to highlight here. Will it be right here? We don't know. Okay, this is the model guessing of where it's going to be. I take this over to the RGEM. It's doing a similar idea. Again, it's focusing on this area right in here it's this very narrow corridor. It's not a big corridor. Now, it doesn't have the sinking air to the north here, which is probably incorrect if there is an inverted trough there like it shows, but the southern part does. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a very challenging forecast, and I'm just being honest with you. This is not just me saying, hey, I try to be we try to be as accurate as possible with the snow maps we put out, and we do a pretty good job with them. I'm just telling you in advance, this is probably not going to be a right for every single town down here, and somebody's going to get shafted. Somebody's going to work out really well. It's one of those deals. One town to the next might be completely different. Okay, so we'll see. We'll see how that sets up, and continue to follow that over the next couple of days. But then beyond this, it gets very cold again here on Saturday as that trough fully settles in, and we'll have temperatures similar to today, maybe a little bit cooler, a bit colder. So looking at maybe like an 18 to 25 degree spread or something like that here on Saturday. So very cold Saturday, partly cloudy skies, and then we're looking at Sunday being a mostly sunny day with temperatures still below freezing in many areas. Then we start turning the corner and moderate a little bit as we get into next week. Monday finally gets above freezing in most locations, and then Tuesday we have a warm front that pushes off to the north of our region here. So we have increasing clouds later in the day, and temperatures probably get above 40 in some areas. So it's going to definitely turn warmer in that fourth week of, or the final 7 days of the month of January. We knew that. That was in our long-range outlook. It's expected. Call it a January thaw, call it what you will, but we will not have any snow most likely in that entire week. It looks like we're going to wait until February to get that going again after this Friday. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is your outlook for January 17th, 2024. Have a great Wednesday.